Welcome, everybody. It is the Daily HiFi podcast. It's Monday night and afternoon, maybe for some of you. My name is Chana. With me, as always, we've got Joe, Aaron, and Michael. What is going on, fellas?
What's up?
What's up?
What's going on?
Oh, Michael has lost his voice
Almost. We're good.
almost.
Almost.
Yeah.
It just
You're like
sounds
Steve-O.
so weird. It sounds so weird.
Who likes his voice better this way? That's what I
Oh
was.
no! If the lights were out and he were whispering in my ear, I probably would.
Oh man. That ain't gonna happen, man.
You'll see. You'll come around.
Hey, can you say you know?
You know.
Oh, Crazy.
You got the big bottom on.
Yeah,
Shauna.
dude. I did get a little bit tan.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. How was
So,
your vacation? You
sick?
went,
Dude,
you went on
Yeah.
cruise ship.
Yeah, the cruise was fantastic, man. We had a 7-day cruise. Jessica and I hadn't been on a vacation without the kids in about 5 years. So it was just nice to get away. And we did some really cool excursions, had a chance to swim with some stingrays. And that was a little weird, though. When you dive down and you get close to him, and he was like swimming away from me. And then he turns his head and looks at me. I'm like, peace out, man. I'm gone. So I
You don't
headed
want
back
that
up to
Steve
the
Irwin. I guess it's not stingrays. Now he got stung by like a certain
some
type.
kind of ray, but yeah,
I don't know
it
about
was
those.
Manta ray. Was it a manta ray?
Manta.
I don't know.
It's too close.
Yeah, it was
for
super
me.
cool and got to swim with the sea turtles and
Oh, I saw the video. That was pretty cool.
yeah. So just had some fun, man. It was just nice just to get away and just relax and chill out in the sun and go visit some cool places. We visited St. Martin. Really enjoyed St. Martin. That was a really neat island. And then St. Thomas. So
Cool.
Michael sounds like he has dynamic EQ on.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's got Joe's Magic Bean settings. It
I
just takes
know.
the bass to another level, dude.
Hey, did you get to check out that restaurant I told you about? Well, the Wonder
I
restaurant?
did not.
Ah,
So yeah. It was like Wonderland, I think, on the ship.
yeah. Oh man.
So
Do you guys know what gastronomy is? I think it's called.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
molecular
You do?
gastronomy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course
My
you
wife
would,
watches
Anna.
Top
fancy,
Chef all the
dude.
time, so like, yeah.
Yeah, these guys made an olive. Like basically, like it tastes like an olive, and it kind of feels like an olive, but it wasn't an olive. It was like the shape of one, and they were
Yeah.
able to like I don't know. I popped it in my mouth, and then just like tasted like an olive, but
It's weird. They
wasn't
like
exactly-
they try to
weird.
they like they break things down so that you can't identify what it is visually, but you're like, oh, it tastes like chocolate. You're like, yeah, that's what it was.
something like that. But it
Yeah.
doesn't. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it was like a 5-course meal. I'm not used to that sort of thing. Just like all kinds of stuff come in, and it was delicious. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's
the youth
awesome,
men's-
Michael. It looks like you had a good time.
I did, man. We had a really, really good time.
You probably would have had a better time if we would have came back with Seamaster, though. I don't know.
Yeah, Joe, I knew he'd be hit me up on about the watches. So I'm like, all right, so let me stop in a couple shops. And I know you mentioned that it's like kind of hated among the watchophiles. Is that
Yeah.
really weird? Watchophiles?
Yeah.
Timepiecephiles, something like that.
Yeah.
So, trying to make up something, but
Chronophiles.
Chronophiles, there you
Is that
go.
it?
Something
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, the Hublot's kind of. I was like, nah, man.
Yeah,
I like
the Hublot. Is
Yeah,
it
you go
Hublot?
with the
Hublot?
Yeah,
Hublot?
you liked the way that looked because it was
It
like
looked-
that skeleton look, but it was like
Yeah.
what 20 G's.
Yeah, like $20,000. But it felt, I mean, golly, that Joker was heavy. It was like got some weight to it.
Yeah.
It looked slick, man. I think it was
Yeah.
called the Big Bang. I think
Yeah.
that's the name of
Yeah.
it.
That's their popular one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Nice.
like that. I liked how that Omega
Really expensive.
Seamaster looked on you. I thought you were gonna treat yourself this one time.
Nah,
Nah,
I gotta find a skeleton deal. I
Okay.
saw a Tag Heuer as
Yeah.
well.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think they
yeah.
make them as well.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's a good brand or not, but I was sending the fellas some pics of watch. I'm like, what do you think about this one, man? I'm thinking about buying it.
Yeah, I thought it was cool that you would at least check him
Yeah.
out, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
I thought
dude.
he's gonna be like,
It was
he's not
cool.
even gonna
Nah, it was
gonna
cool.
take a look. So that was
Nah,
cool
we
that you shared your experience with us.
Yeah, that was on. They had, of course, several watch shops on the cruise ship itself, but then also when we got off the island, while we were waiting for our excursion to start, So we still had like 45 minutes to kind of kill some time. So we went through some of the shops, and so they had some watch shops there. So I stopped by.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know the audience, but we talk pretty much every day. We have like a group chat, and we're always just kind of keeping in touch, seeing how everything's going. So
Checking in
aside
with
from this
him.
whole daily hi-fi thing,
Yeah.
we do keep in touch, and I think
We actually
cool.
like each other, even off camera.
Surprise.
yeah, amazing, right? Yeah, I think it shows though in our shows. I think people kind of feel like, yeah, these guys.
It was funny because like Joe had this Instagram photo over the weekend? And I was just like, damn, dude, looking sharp or something. And he's just like, he messages me back. He's like, all dressed up with nowhere to go. And I'm like, walking with the dead man over my shoulder. And he's just like, nothing. And I'm like, no, you don't get it? You don't get the song reference? He's like, oh, I'm not good with that. I'm like, fuck, I wish Aaron was here.
I know.
You totally would have known it was Oingo Boingo.
He got my back. This guy's got my back right here.
Yeah.
I don't need to know.
Yeah. But
yeah, man.
That was funny. So yeah, we talk all the time.
An Oingo Boingo reference. Like is that just because he was recently on, or he was at Coachella?
Who, Danny Elfman?
Danny Elfman?
Oh,
Yeah.
was he? Oh,
yeah, he was at Coachella. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I don't know. Joe said it, not me. He's the one that said it. I was just like, oh. He's like, I'm all dressed up with nowhere to go.
Where
I'm
that's
like,
from? Specifically?
Is it? I don't know.
I thought people just said that.
Dead Man's Party. Yeah, I just Googled the song name because I couldn't remember it, but Dead Man's Party.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, so man,
Oingo Boingo
people didn't know that he was actually in like a band at first, right? So yeah, he had a song on like either the Karate Kid or some soundtrack. That's
no. He's done all of like Tim Burton's animated stuff.
Beverly Hills Cop. That's what I'm thinking.
Nightmare Before Christmas and like
yeah. No, I mean like his group actually had a. Okay. I think
Oingo
so.
Boingo.
Oingo Boingo. Mike, you know Oingo Boingo?
Gratitude. Yeah, Gratitude. It was Oingo Boingo. Well, they said it was Danny Elfman, but I think it was the group. Anyway, we're getting off track here.
Yeah, but like Joe's, I'm like, you don't know that song, and I sent him the video. Gosh, the music video is so old looking, so old looking. But yeah, Oingo Boingo, awesome stuff. But yeah, so yeah, if Aaron was in the group chat, he would have fucking chimed in.
Yeah,
I'm like, hey,
sure.
Hey, Oingo, hey,
maybe.
It's all good. It's all good. You guys have a good weekend this weekend? I know, Mike. When did you get back, Mike? Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday to Sunday.
You did a live stream on Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday night. Yeah, we got back.
I caught like the last 10 minutes of it. That's when I noticed your voice was like, you went away, Michael. You came back, Barry Michael.
For sure. Yeah, I usually get laryngitis about once a year. It's kind of interesting because when I went full time with YouTube in 2020 I didn't get it. 2021 I didn't get it. But if you think about it, I was not really around many people very often.
Oh, right.
So then I go on a cruise for the first time in 2 years, around 5,000 people, and so then it comes back. So it's all good. I'm glad I didn't lose my voice. Usually it gets so deep and just from talking so much that it just I lose it. So like all day today, I don't talk. I just sit there and work and edit, and so So hopefully we won't lose it totally.
Yeah, I hope not.
Yeah,
you probably have some videos you got to make. You have any?
I do.
Any coming up?
Yeah, I've got several review videos I've got to do. I've got a home theater tour that I'll be filming this Saturday. One I'll be filming the following Saturday. And then I even need to kind of do mine. I haven't done mine in almost a year now. So
what's that? Your home theater?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, man.
A lot has changed,
I know.
Just like usually about once a year I try to update mine.
I want to do one for mine. I'm just kind of waiting on like a new streaming device.
There you go.
But I was just like,
what are you looking at?
Oh, just that HiFi Rose, that RS250.
Oh, gotcha.
Like a streaming, not a movie stream, like music streaming.
Yeah, that'd be sweet
device. Yeah, because I got the new Marantz in there. You got all the new speakers and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, there's a gnat in here. Oh, annoying.
Uh-oh. Let's see your karate skills.
Yeah, break out the chopsticks.
Now,
Michael's got to
ignore it because I'm gonna look like a weird dude on mall. Like, yeah,
that was like me dancing on the cruise ship, man.
Dude.
Or was it you just standing still and the cruise ship was rocking?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Couldn't tell, huh, Mike?
If the cruise ship is rocking, don't come a knocking.
There were some people at the mountain this weekend wearing some captain's hats and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you guys saw
the video you showed?
Yeah.
The dude was wearing a captain's hat and like underwear.
Yeah, he didn't have any pants on.
So I forget they do this every year. So this is a group from UCLA. There was a bunch of graduates there from the 2022 class, but it's called the Undie Run. So they come to Mammoth every spring, and all the guys and girls are skiing and snowboarding in bikinis, and that bikini part was nice, and they were all dancing around in front of my DJ thing. But the banana hammock stuff, that was not good. That was I didn't need that. But I guess you got to take the good with the bad, right?
You weren't feeling that, huh?
No, and like dude, as soon as I figured they wanted to sing along, so I just started putting out some sing along EDM bangers, and they were just jumping up and down, having a blast, and everything was cool. And then right in front of me, like, because they were just kind of dancing in front. Somebody starts ripping ass. I was just like, I was all smiling. Oh,
come on!
I just totally ruined the whole thing. I was just like, this whole day is ruined now. You couldn't just go somewhere else. And it was just bad.
That's hilarious.
Everything was good except for that.
You figured he was outdoors. Or she.
Nobody was he or she. Yeah, it could have been a girl.
He or she.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
And then the other weird thing after that happened, about an hour later, it started getting super hot to where, like, my decks, my DJ deck has a 10-inch touchscreen. It all started going black.
Oh,
it all started going black. And I'm like, whoa. And then I stood in front of it, and it provided shade, and then the screen would come back. And I'm like, these things are overheating.
Dude,
like crap. So I quickly went and grabbed my backup system, switched songs, boom, plugged in the backup, took out the backup hard drive, put it in there, had that coming in on channel 4, and I didn't miss a beat. I mixed the song, half on the expensive deck, half on the backup. And once I was all on the backup, boom, I took the two decks, threw them inside. Well, I didn't throw them.
Yeah,
but
that's why you pay for a professional right there.
That's a pro.
Exactly. And they didn't even know. Nobody had a clue. I switched setups without stopping the music. So
that's pretty slick.
Yeah, no, it's pretty scary. I was like, damn, because I got to do it one more time for Memorial Day weekend. They're having Aaron, you're gonna love it, buddy. It's a yacht rock weekend.
Oh yeah,
they're having, like, what is it? Yachtly Crew. It's a yacht rock cover band. Yachtly Crew. Yeah, they're coming out on Saturday and playing. They're building a stage and all this stuff, and I'm playing in between. So I have to be, dressed up and ready to go.
Yeah.
And just play nothing but what is it? Hall & Oates and
that'll work.
Some Duran Duran,
Christopher Cross, some Kenny Loggins, some Michael McDonald.
Kenny Loggins, yeah,
man.
Oh man, it's gonna be bad.
Bad.
But yeah, that's what I got
in a good way.
No, bad in a bad way. Too much yacht rock, dude. Like a whole 6 hours of yacht rock, dude. There's not even 6 hours of yacht rock to go through, bro.
Dude, there's a video on YouTube. I'll have to look for it and try to find it for you and send it to you. But it's like kind of making fun of yacht rock, and like some guy's playing like he's Kenny Loggins, and another guy's playing like he's Michael McDonald. It's terrible, but it's so funny, man. Anyway,
let's see here.
RGA said should be a rule. Don't crop dust the DJ. Party foul.
Yeah,
seriously.
No pun intended, too.
Yeah.
Party foul.
So yeah, that was part of my weekend. I was also putting together this gaming chair cockpit thing, which I've been playing some racing games on. It's been pretty awesome. Got a force feedback leather grip steering wheel that I haven't opened in like 3 years. So
yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's got a little shifter.
Yeah,
thing. It's pretty hefty. I'm like, this thing's pretty big. And the
toughest thing about those. So, what kind of seat do you have? Do you have like a place to put the pedals so that they don't move forward?
Oh yeah. No, this is a full cockpit. It's like a full foldable cockpit,
so,
right? And it has a little place for you to screw in the here. You know what? I'll pull it up on screen. What am I doing?
What's up?
Being silly.
Yeah, I like that. I like racing simulators.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, and it's the best is that it's foldable. Foldable, so I can get it out of the way. It's actually right behind me. Just had to fold it up a little bit. Where is this? No, no. All right, Next Level Racing. It's called Next Level Racing.
And where's my bug assault right now? You guys have a bug assault? You know what that is?
Is that the salt shooter?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, for flies, like you fill it with salt, and then you just like, and then you shoot the fly.
Oh,
Yep.
It's pretty awesome.
All right, here we go. Got it. Got it. I forgot I ordered it from Amazon, and they messed up the delivery, so I never got it.
Let's see.
So
you know what? Hold on a second. Oh, I had one very similar to that one.
That's pretty legit, man.
Yeah, this is this is the lower position.
Yeah,
right?
mine is a little higher.
Yeah, and then see this back part. It'll go up to
Push
like
down.
a different. They don't show it on these pictures.
Sorry.
Silly.
I'm blowing y'all up.
I see that.
Yacht Rock.
Yeah. Y'all gotta
Oh, see here. This is the taller one. So this is the like configuration I have it in.
That looks like a workout chair.
kind of. Look. It folds up
Like
with
a
the.
torch.
It looks like an
steering wheel.
inversion table.
Oh, you mean like one of those what
Dude,
is it
that's
called?
almost-
Those Pilates
Those
machines?
well, I was thinking like the inversion table is what it makes me think of.
Oh, here we go.
I know what you're talking about though, like the thing with the rollers and stuff on it.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
My mom used to have one of those.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so Friday after the gig, I came home and shot an unboxing of this, and then it took quite a while to put this thing together. I'm not gonna lie.
That's
That-
pretty wild.
That is it wasn't easy. And I almost you have to be like underneath the like steering wheel part to like
Mhm.
screw it in, and it doesn't sit there, so you gotta hold it, and then I gotta hold the steering wheel almost fell on my head like 3 times because I'm like underneath it trying to see. So yeah. And it folds up, it'll tuck out of the way, and I've been trying to play as much as I can in between stuff over the weekend, and man, it's so much fun in here. It's so much fun. I had it set up so I was sitting in front of the 83-inch OLED. Talk about immersion. Like I'm like 3 feet away from that thing.
Yeah, dude.
It's pretty cool.
We got a
That's pretty
comment from Power Guy Mark. Thank you for the support as always.
Yep.
I don't know if you're seeing this.
Thank you.
Need a recommendation for a 2.1 integrated amp that can drive some difficult 4-ohm vintage speakers and a self-powered sub. Thanks, guys.
Oh man, I would say Parasound. Hint 6, but it's pretty pricey.
Difficult 4-ohm vintage speakers. I guess you also need to know how loud you want to play them.
How sensitive are
What's
the
the
speakers?
sensitivity?
If you can figure that out, I mean, if they're vintage and you can't find any literature about them, that's going to be difficult.
What's the room size? Right. So I'm wondering if you're saying it's vintage, do you also want an amplifier that looks vintage also to kind of match the look, you know? Because if that's the case, I would probably just go with one of those old school Marantz, you know? But you said it has to be 2.1, so that means that old Marantz does not have a 0.1 for sure.
No.
But what I would recommend is I just recently reviewed the Mini DSP Flex, and that kind of works as like a preamp. All right. And so it's basically a 2x4 HD, but with a screen, right? So from there, you can kind of use that as your interface, like your preamp, plug everything into there. So it has analog, it has optical, it has Toslink, Bluetooth, you know, different things you can plug in. It doesn't have a phono input, so you'd have to get a separate like phono preamp for that if you wanted to do that. But my thought is that you could get a 2-channel, doesn't matter, right? Anything with RCA input, I guess, right? And so you could input to that amp, and then you could send one of the other channels to your subwoofer, and you could still get the best of both worlds where you have like this old school amp, but you have Bluetooth and you have, you know, it has LDAC, like the most advanced one. And you can also integrate a sub properly, you know, add the right delays to the other speakers to match the sub and EQ them. So you could have an awesome sounding system. Yeah. And, you know, I think it's
be a
like
lot cheaper than
$449.
like a Parasound Hint 6, be a lot less expensive than that.
I mean, even the new Classic 200 is what, $1,200? You know,
Yeah.
110 watts into 4 ohms, but
Mhm.
no Bluetooth. So, you know, but
And
this does have the 0.1.
I
Gotcha.
forgot I haven't reviewed the SHD mini DSP SHD, but that's like a more advanced version. I guess it does a little bit more. I'm not sure exactly what.
Okay.
But I know that it is a little more advanced. FOMO, what's up, FOMO? He says NAD
FOMO.
M33 is a beast. It has Dirac and Bluetooth. Call it a day. And yeah, but again, these are starting to get expensive, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
They start to get a little bit pricey at that point. So it depends on whether you want an old school look to go with your vintage speakers or not.
Yeah.
But there's some recommendations. NAD, Chana says Parasound. I'm thinking I would probably go vintage amp, Pioneer, like, one of those old school Sansui, whatever, silver face.
Yeah, you can
recall
get if you get one of those old school ones, you just get yourself like here, hold on.
What's Shauna doing here?
You get one of those things, and then you can get yourself like this DAC Magic 200 by Cambridge, right? It's got all the goodies. Oh, my goodies. My goodies. They got all the goodies, including Bluetooth, and you connect it to whatever vintage amp you want. There, done deal.
Yep.
This is 500, so it's not cheap, not super expensive.
Yeah.
And this will connect up to your laptop via asynchronous USB. It'll decode your MQA from title. It'll do, make some julienne fries and spank you on the bottom. I don't know.
Hey.
You have to try it out.
Sound like a wiener.
Make sure that it also has enough power because, like, you know how they always say like those old school amps are real power, right? Like they used to rate them like legitimately, right?
Yeah.
But I also had a legitimate Marantz that was only 20 watts. I mean, it seemed more powerful than 20 watts, but I did try to like throw some ELAC 4 ohm speakers on it, and it didn't like it. Like it would like I was on the verge of like shutting off. When you turned it up, the bass would hit, and you're like,
think it's gonna clip.
It doesn't like that.
Right.
Got it.
Right.
So yeah.
Before we jump into the other super and stuff like that, if you guys hadn't seen FOMO's 6-hour or 8-hour or 15-hour live stream, it was pretty awesome. I'm almost like halfway through FOMO, and he had the 2 calibrators calibrating TVs, and apparently with the new QD OLED, the new technology, you need to have a spectro, the thing that like a higher resolution spectro, and like the cheapest one's like $7,800 or something like that, because I guess the measurement in nanometers is so small that like there it is, 7-hour collaboration live stream, but it was crazy. It was crazy but fun.
Calibration live stream. That's crazy. So he did a live calibration.
He had 2 people calibrating 2 different TVs in his room, in his studio, and then he would bring in like Robert Zone and D Nice from the East
D
Coast.
Nice.
D Nice.
Like Denise?
No, he's a calibrator. But
Denise.
hey, so
D Nice.
Denise.
You done messed up, AA Ron.
But yeah, they had some great things to say about this new OLED technology. Even though the Samsung was admittedly harder to calibrate than an LG or a Sony would be. But yeah, crazy. Technology is getting better to the point where we now need a spectro to read a 4 nanometer distance from a 10 nanometer, right? So just imagine this is like a whole bunch of nanometers. We got to go from here to here, right? It needs to read that much. So like even my C6 probably would misread the new QD OLED. So
look at that.
Yeah, so I might have to have somebody come here and calibrate this, and while they're at it, I'm like, let's have them calibrate all the other TVs. I don't know about live streaming, but I just want it to look good, and like I don't want to spend $8,000 just on one piece of equipment and then have to do it myself as well. Like I could spend $2,000 to have somebody with the equipment come and do it, and then I just sit back and relax. But anyway, it's a great stream if you guys are looking interested in the new OLED technology, definitely check out FOMO's stream. It was pretty awesome, and he's answering questions left and right all throughout it too.
Got another super chat here.
Yep.
Hi, finest. What do
So
you say?
everyone seems so thrilled about Arc Beta with the phase alignment feature. Does Odyssey Multi EQX do the same thing? Do you need to adjust?
Oh man, I don't know about this Arc Beta.
What is Arc Beta?
So Arc Beta is Anthem room correction, I would imagine.
Okay.
Is that
I've been hearing a little bit here and there about it. You know, people are messaging me like saying, "Hey, is this kind of like multi-sub optimizer?" So I have no idea what it is. You guys?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look
I
it
know
up.
Arc. I know Arc. They came out with Genesis,
Yeah.
like what, last year or the year before?
Yeah, I used it upstairs. Yeah, it's good.
But I haven't heard of the beta.
I don't know what beta this is. Yeah.
Anthem Arc Beta. You pull that up. See, let's look at it together and see what it is.
Okay. Arc Genesis beta. Is it Arc
Yes.
Genesis beta?
That's what it looks like because it says that was 1 month ago.
Oh, okay.
Hands on. Wonder if yours can do this, because I know you wanted me to check out your Anthem. Wonder if if it can do whatever this does. So what
No,
is this?
it'll only be available for the newer ones. not the older
Okay.
ones. Yeah. It's
what
all
is-
good. Somebody wants to buy my. Oh,
Okay.
dude, I got somebody who's just like, hey, man, I want to do do you have any equipment laying around? And I'm like, yeah, why? And they're like, oh, well, I want to do a second home theater. If you got equipment, so I might be selling a bunch of stuff soon, including the Anthem, even though that was one of the better receivers that I've had in here.
I'm trying to see. Does it say anything about what it does?
Newly developed Anthem auto phase, distance, and time alignment for up to 4 independent subwoofers on the MRX 40 series AVM 7090.
Phase, distance, and alignment.
Oh,
Okay, phase,
so-
distance, and time alignment. Okay.
Yeah, I just pulled up Gene's. Gene dropped a video on that today. He's got some screenshots, and there's some phase adjustment at a frequency. So it looks like they're just using all pass filters. So welcome to what Car Audio has been doing for about a decade, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Dude, you know what? I've said it so many times. I will say it again. The AV receiver is the caboose end of the technological train. Like it
Pro
is
Audio's been doing it for 15 or 20 years easy.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy to me. Like everybody, no offense, but people are like, oh my God. And I'm just like, yeah, dude, this stuff has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me that home audio, like Chana is saying, is so far behind.
Yeah. It's just this.
I wonder, do you think that some of this stuff has been available to like maybe like the professional like cinema spots? Like not home,
Probably.
you know?
No, probably because a lot of them they're not using Denon. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
they're not using anything on that. And I do know what some of them use. I don't know, what's popular now, but I know what was popular like about a decade ago. And they're using sophisticated like pro audio DSP. You know what I'm saying? So which has that kind of stuff built into it. So
I was about to say that I have seen some stuff, some pretty advanced DSP stuff that I can't talk about that I think actually has been in Car Audio already. I was about to see if I could prove you wrong, but I'm like, no, I think that it's probably been.
Well,
in
like
Car Audio.
a lot of them even have horn profiles loaded into them. A lot of the pro audio stuff does. And you say, I'm using these horns, and it'll make equalization based on that horn profile. It's already preloaded. So.
I've seen somewhere they even know like if you buy a sub from the same manufacturer, they say, okay, these are the settings you use so that they're time aligned. Like they know,
Seems-
how
I
they
can
work
see that.
together. Like if you buy the speakers and the subwoofers together, they'll tell you how to match them up properly. What else we got? Yeah, so sorry, we don't know too much about this yet.
But I can say that if it is phase adjustment at frequency, then yes, that's a great thing to have. It's incredible. I was actually using a Car Audio piece in my home theater because it had that. And then I switched over to a Rain.
Okay. So what does that allow you to do? I'm very interested. So
like if you have, so you can, all right, so you know how you have phase is just 0 and 180, right? So it's either in phase or out of phase. Is kind of how we think of it. But in the real world, it's never like that. Your phase angle is always like somewhere between 0 and 180. So you can set it to 45 degrees, 75 degrees. You can set it to whatever phase angle that you want in order to get proper summation between two different speakers. Right. So it's kind of like if you take a speaker and you have them, everything is perfect, and you have an ideal world, and you put the subwoofer with the floor standing speaker, and you set the subwoofer phase to 0 degrees, and everything is perfect. The phase aligns. You have perfect summation at the crossover. Everything is time aligned. Everything is perfect. Okay, it's like that's the ideal world. But you never have that. But you also don't have the opposite where it's completely out of phase. You have somewhere in between 0 and 360 degrees. You have somewhere in between, and the best place to set the phase adjustment would be somewhere in between there, between 0 and 360 degrees. So that's what an all-pass filter with these type things will allow you to do, is they'll say, oh, you want me to adjust the phase angle at this frequency, and you want to adjust the angle to be this, like this angle, basically.
So that's how you typically use it, to be like more precise with
like when you're tuning. Yeah, when you're tuning, you can just pick a band of test tones. Is usually what I do for subwoofer and the mains. And let's say my crossover is at 80 hertz, like my acoustic point crossover is somewhere in that region. So I'll play like 63 hertz, I'll play 80 hertz, and then I'll play 110 hertz, or I guess 100 hertz. I'll play those third octave tones, and I'll say, where's the spot where it blends the most? And then I'll just adjust the phase alignment for that crossover. So I'll go from 0 degrees to 10 degrees to 20 degrees, and I'll just work that until it lines up in phase. And then when you do, it's a lot more louder. Everything is more full. Everything is locked in up front. It's not coming from different places, right? So,
well, I guess for somebody who may not know as much about DSP, because I know you're advanced, I do a lot of DSP myself, and so they might say, hey, my SVS has, it's not, 0 or 180. You can do 45, and and I know the answer, right? But they might say, mine's a phase knob, right? So I can adjust in betweens too, right?
Right. So I thought that, and turns out that it's actually not. It's just time delay, which is super annoying, because you can have things set up in time perfectly. So I think the easiest way to explain that is if you take two speakers, put them right on top of each other, like you take a mid-range and you put it on top of another mid-range, and you make them occupy the exact same space. They are time aligned. There's nothing you can do to make them not time aligned. Now you play both of them, you got sound, right? But now you take one of them and you flip the phase. Now you have no sound. But they're still perfectly time aligned, so they can be perfectly time aligned and not in phase. So you have things, right? You have time, and then you have phase. They're two different things.
I think people get confused about that. I know we're getting pretty technical right now, but I think it's kind of confusing to some people that, they think that phase has to be related to the time. Like you can't, like they're connected, in their
right.
In their
right.
mind.
So time is a function of phase. Right. But you can also adjust the phase without adjusting the time delay.
Rotate.
So when you adjust the time delay, you actually shift the signal time, right? So when the speaker or when the sound leaves that speaker, so you can actually move it forward or backwards. Relative. So it's always relative to another speaker that's playing. Because if you just have the one speaker that's playing, you don't care what time it fires. I guess you care about it relative to the other speaker. And when they're out of phase, then you have weird stuff going on.
I don't know if this is a good example or not, but it kind of makes sense to me. But you know how they say you shouldn't mix sealed and ported, because they could be aligned until you get to the port, and then the port is going to be out of phase, and then you may get some cancellation below the port, right? So with an all pass filter, would it be possible to have everything aligned, and then when the port does its weird phase thing, at that point to rotate the phase there so it's aligned the entire way? Is that
so
possible?
You could do that, but it will only be relative to the other sounds that's going on from the other speakers, right? So you can't fix the phase for that one point in space. You're not going to hear that difference, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, interesting.
It's weird,
but a little bit more advanced, I guess, than
I mean, I really do think the best way to think about it is just if you're out if you're out in a field somewhere and you have two speakers playing and they're physically, I mean, you can't physically do it, but just imagine that you had two speakers that were occupying the exact same space, you know, and they're both playing the same sound. Well, you have sound, but as soon as you flip the polarity of one of them, they cancel out, right? So, but they're firing from the exact same point space. So the time is the exact same. It's just the relative phase between the two is offset. So that's how you can have time versus phase.
That one JL Audio Tune 4 that you, I think you linked to it, or I saw a video about it, and they did a pretty excellent job of explaining it. Like they show you how to do the entire process of calibrating pretty much everything, your speakers or the stuff. And they're like, all right, everything's good. Yeah, everything's time aligned and you got the frequency response you want, but the left is not, you want more phase coherence between the left and right. What do? Yeah. Everything's already set. Like that's when we can use these all pass filters to
you rotate the phase so everything sounds more cohesive. Yeah,
I get it now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting stuff. What else? We got a lot of stuff. We got some super chats too. Can we get at those? I'm missing them.
Yeah, you got a new one.
Yeah, you see those? Chana.
Sorry, I'm looking at audio advice.
Okay.
What's the audio advice doing?
No, I'm just looking where can I buy an Anthem right now? I'm like,
he's shopping.
I mean, sadly, these things are hard to get. Like they're sold out everywhere. Safe and Sound doesn't have any. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't think I want to spend any more money on AVRs. I'll tell you that much.
All right, well, Charles, who pulled this up right here?
I did. I remember seeing it a minute ago.
All right.
I just upgraded my 7.2.4 system to Focal Arias. Ooh, nice. What do you guys think about the Rel 3D system versus standard dual subwoofer setup? Okay. I know what they're talking about. Do you guys know what they're talking about?
I do not.
So Rel has this 3D system.
Unless that's where they wire it real different. Was that?
Yeah, that's the normal thing. They wire it like with their, what is it called? Their line levels. But their 3D is, they just imagine having a full range speaker for all your speakers. Meaning you would add a sub to your center channel, right? You would add a sub to your left, add a sub to your right, add a sub to your surrounds, or something like that. I mean, running a full range center would be kind of cool, but I mean, I don't know.
And people who have, acoustically transparent screens can do that. If they've got the space to do that. Otherwise, you just don't have the space.
Are you a believer in having a sub for every speaker? That's the way to go?
Who, me?
I don't know. Everybody.
Oh, everybody. I don't think so. I would say stick with the standard 2 LFE channels, and
because I think that I think you're saying, or you're implying, that the bass is localizable, right? That's the reason why you'd want it. Like, I want left channel bass, I want center channel bass, and I want right.
I don't know.
Soundstage is kind of.
I mean,
what I'm getting from it.
If I just had if I had like some towers left and right that would dig deep, let's say 30 hertz, right? And my center was just a standard horizontal center with like 5 1/4 inch drivers. We're gonna get to 30. No, we're gonna get to 60, maybe 70, right? All right. Adding that extra 30 there for like a John Wick type movie. A lot of smacking, a lot of gunshots, a lot of stuff coming out of the center channel. That might be cool. I don't know. And how would that extra bass from another subwoofer for just the center channel be integrated properly with the rest of the setup?
That'd be a lot more complex to set up too, because you're talking minimum of 5 subwoofers, 7 subwoofers.
Oh, okay, all right, let's not get into like crazy subwoofer land. Let's just try. Try. We have
one about the LCR
channel, or just LCRs, or just adding more oomph to that center channel, right?
I'm not a believer. You know what? I think Rel will probably never send me anything.
Yeah,
because like a lot
Probably.
of the stuff that they put out, I'm just not I'm not.
I just wonder.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I'm
Are
sorry.
they trying to make themselves so different from everybody else so that they stand out? You know what I mean? Like the way they hook everything up. I mean, and I'm sure they believe it, but I'm not sure. I'm like you.
I'm
I'm
sure
not sure
there's
I buy
plenty of
into it.
like hi-fi people that want to impart the sound signature from the amplifier that they're sending to their main speakers. They want to impart that sound signature to their subwoofers too, because
Mhm. I think that their specialty is really for the 2-channel hi-fi guy who doesn't want to use DSP.
Yep.
Like how do they get that person to buy more subs, right? That person probably doesn't want to buy subs in the first place because they think that's like for home theater a lot of times.
Yeah.
And I'm stereotyping. Of course, there's some people who do, right? But I think that that's kind of their demographic is like the 2-channel crowd. And I don't know. I just don't think that that's sound advice, audio advice, right? I don't think it's good advice because do they put the sub right next to the speaker, like underneath?
Yeah,
it?
I don't know where you would do that. I don't know. I don't know.
Mount it on it.
Like I've seen
what is
some, like I saw their article about it, and it's just they just have it as sub like over here.
I mean, I would be glad to have one of those guys on and talk it out. And
Talk
if
about
I'm
it.
wrong, then I'm wrong, right? But I don't think so. I think what's actually happening is they're saying you're going to get stereo bass, and I think I've read this article. I think they're saying that you can have stereo bass, and not just basically you have a sub for each speaker. But I mean, bass is not localizable below a certain frequency.
Now, wouldn't you have to have a higher end processor as well? Like I know some of the higher end.
So one of the things that they were telling me is that different AV receivers won't let you run a full channel center or full range center. So that also has to like line up there. So Charles, I would say to answer your question, hey, I love the Focal Arias, man. They rock. I have a full setup here. Joe actually just tuned them, and we took measurements, and he's just like, hey, this is starting out a good speaker, so this is going to sound great. I would say just rock your 0.2, your subwoofers as just standard.
Well, I think it's best to put the subs in optimal places also.
Yeah.
So, I think the danger is in saying, oh, this sub needs to be by the left because it's the left channel sub, and this needs to be in the center. That might not be a good place for those subs, right? I mean, we were talking about how behind the seat is a good place a lot of times, right? Near field sub is a good alternative a lot of times. So I would say it's more important to put the sub in optimal places rather than trying to think about it as per channel.
Right.
That's just me. That's what I think. But yeah, if these guys, we should have somebody from Rel on.
Yeah, I'll hit them up.
Maybe they can tell us like, hey, this is why you should do it. I'm gonna say why I don't agree, and then they might not be back again.
They won't ever come back again.
Yeah, so I think if their whole thing is just we're going to take your regular old speakers and turn them into full range, okay, right? Like, but that doesn't seem to be it. Because if that were it, then that would be it, and then you would either be like, yeah, okay, I can benefit from that, or it doesn't really matter to me, and I'll just use my speakers crossed over 80 hertz like I normally would. And that's what the conversation becomes at that point, right? So I feel like they think they're doing something different. And by the way, they did actually reach out to me and see if I would be interested in testing some of their subs.
Well, there you go.
So, which I thought was interesting. And then I replied back, and then I didn't hear anything, and I was like, I'll try again. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting, right? I'm sure they believe that this is the best way. I think it'd be interesting to have a discussion.
I guess, like, in an ideal world, it would be cool to have full range speakers all around, but I think that's not realistic for most people, and then it's like, well, do you really benefit from having full range left, center, and right? Is it that big of a deal? Or, like Joe was saying, then you can, if it was separate subwoofers, you have the ability to put them wherever you need to help smooth out the bass in the room. And I think that's probably the better way to go anyway. But yeah, I don't know.
And just so you guys know, the people who are watching, I've actually experienced a system that was set up in that way, not with rel subs, but when I went to Sound United, they did have the Bowers and Wilkins, and each channel had its own sub, and so each channel was good down to 18 hertz or something like that, right? So left, center, every channel, even the surrounds, had a sub, and I mean, nothing about it made me think like, oh man, I need to do that with my system. You know, it sounded like a system that had a lot of bass.
Well,
No,
then,
like
that's
there
the
were
problem
actually
too.
issues, to be honest. Like there was some issues where I'm like, oh, there's some cancellation going on over here, and I
Mhm.
told Phil like, hey man, I think you guys should do some multi-sub optimizer here because you guys have 2 rows of seats, and it sounds cool right here, but over here the floor is shaking and I'm not hearing anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like I was in a weird spot where maybe I was
Mhm.
only getting sound from certain subs and
Oh,
maybe
well,
get cancellation from another set. So
that was the mother-in-law's seat. That's
yeah,
Yeah, there you
that's
go.
what it was.
I think the other thing too is if you're going to integrate a subwoofer into like a floor standing speaker, you know, so we already know that it's not easy. We were just talking about phase relationships and then that arc, you know, being able to align the phase at the crossover region. But then if you start adding subwoofers to every speaker, you know what I mean? Like to me, that's more potential for having issues than
More
not.
issues, yeah.
It's
So, I
complicated.
don't know.
yeah. I mean, I think the great thing about having a separate subwoofer is that you can place it somewhere else.
Mhm.
You can place
Yeah.
it in a more optimal location and still have the mid range coming out, you know, where it's supposed to.
Yeah.
But the bass doesn't really work the same way. So yeah, interesting. I would like to talk it out with them. What else? We got. I know people have been mentioning the Onkyo thing. I don't know
Oh, yeah.
enough about it to like speak about it, but Tim sent us something. You guys want to touch on that? Like, I guess what the initial news was? Like, oh,
The initial was Onkyo's bankrupt. They're closing down.
mm,
Rest in peace.
mm.
You know.
Those are the memes.
Yeah, they were gonna call Michael over, do the whole eulogy.
Say your goodbyes.
Yep.
So that is not happening. I don't know all the ins and outs, but definitely there's an article on Clips since they're owned by Vox, and I guess Onkyo is owned by Vox as well.
mhm. It's
So
this
there's
one
an
right?
article on their website, so you can read through that and get all the details there.
It's a CEO of what is the group? Premium Audio Company.
Hmm.
And so they have all those brands that you just mentioned, all these brands up here. And he's just basically saying, like, no, man, you know, that company, Onkyo Home Entertainment Corporation, is bankrupt, but we bought their intellectual property, right? So that will continue. They're like, hey, we have a lot of interest, like all these, I mean, Onkyo and Pioneer,
Pioneer,
Integra, you know, they just came out with some new AVRs that to
Yeah,
me
I
seem
have
like
one.
they seem like they're popular.
Yeah.
I
You
mean,
know, out of stock or whatever, right? Because they have Dirac. So he's just basically saying, like, yeah, that Onkyo, they sold us the stuff a long time ago. Now they're gone, right? But you'll still see the Onkyo brand moving forward, right?
Yeah.
Just that company that used to own them is gone. What do you guys think about that? I mean, I don't think it's going to change too
There's
much.
a lot of changes that are
You
coming.
think so?
Hmm. I mean, just in the audio industry
Oh,
as a whole. I mean, we've seen a bunch of different turnovers. We've seen a lot of mergers. We've seen a lot of buyouts. So
yeah. Paul Jacobs. I'm just looking him up here. President and Chief Executive Officer at Premium Audio Company Holdings. Man, maybe I should add this guy on LinkedIn.
So the memes were wrong, right?
somewhat.
Yeah,
Odd.
what is the one that
Imagine
he?
Odd.
Imagine that.
I'm trying to share this one that Tim shared specifically
I
with
don't
the
know if
bull.
you can share
the
that
bull.
one.
No,
Oh, if you just do
The
a
bull
screen
one.
share, I guess. Yeah.
I actually saw it on Twitter.
the bull one.
Yeah. The no BS.
Oh, that's a signature thing that Paul W. Clips. He used to wear a pin that was like no BS, and so he literally would wear it like he'd be in a suit at a business meeting and have this no BS, cow sticker, or not sticker, but a pin on his
Yeah.
coat. So that was pretty well known with Klipsch.
Let's see.
Good old Klipsch.
Here it is.
Klipsch.
This is what he posted here.
Yeah.
So from Onkyo USA's Facebook, some misinformation is circulating about Onkyo Home Entertainment. Onkyo Home Entertainment's recent bankruptcy filing with regards to premium audio company. The good news is that our PAC umbrella company bought the intellectual property to Onkyo and Integra in a joint venture with Sharp last year, and the legendary Onkyo and Integra brands will live on for decades to come. Read the official statement. So yeah, there's that. I think a lot of people just like to jump on that. Like they say, oh, Onkyo's like, oh, cool. There's news. There's audio news.
Yeah.
Let's talk
Well,
about
there's
it.
an. I mean, there's
Read it on
that,
the internet. It's true.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Well, no, it's the problem.
Yeah, I think it's always sketchy when like the first people who post it are sites that you've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not like, sites that I've visited that do audio reviews. It's just like some random site. Like, oh,
You would think that somebody would do at least a little research. I mean, just a quick Google search on anything, before you go and say, yep, this is what's happening, or this is going down. It's like, come on, people.
Are there any other companies I guess, what other companies are like that where, it's just the name, I guess?
I mean, I think a lot of companies are owned by parent companies that we don't even realize. We just see their main name. Even like Indie Audio Labs is the parent company of Acurus and, oh my goodness, what's the other one? It's a higher end than Acurus. Aragon. So I mean, that's not uncommon to have a parent company, but some of these guys they're Elon Musk, man. They're just buying it all.
Yep.
Yeah. Crazy.
Real quick, let me just a few people have already mentioned. Joe, have you seen the new Klipsch 600M2s? Somebody else.
Oh yeah,
also
they put out some new
asked,
speakers today.
I did ask audio advice. I'm like, hey, I've reviewed the first ones. I thought they're pretty good. There's some issues.
Are they going to send you out a set?
I don't know. I'm waiting
Maybe.
for the response back, but I'm down to check them out.
Yeah, you'll have to see if you can forward those to me once you've reviewed them.
Oh,
See if I
okay.
can test
Yeah,
them.
you want to check those out?
Yeah, just because people are asking about it. So if it's popular, then yeah,
they're
I'll give it a
going.
shot.
They're going to. You're gonna
Hopefully
see them in videos.
Hopefully they fix some of the. I mean, the main issue that I remember seeing was just that there was a dip at the crossover point, and it's not something that I haven't seen in other Klipsch speakers. Like, a lot of times I'll do these calibrations. People have Klipsch speakers. It's almost always there's like this dip at the crossover frequency.
Around 2000.
I don't know exactly, but maybe around there, right? I mean, what do you think about that, Aaron? Like the dip at the crossover, is that like, that's kind of like an old school thing that companies used to do? Like,
Yeah, people used to say that was
dip,
the BBC dip, but I don't know how much truth there is to do
LS35A
for a good reason.
Bowers and Wilkins, I think they tend to do that. Did you notice that on at all? If you ever reviewed any
You know what? I'm curious. Let me see.
Because
I don't remember if I saw that in the round of testing I just did.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Well, I don't want
Yeah,
but
no, I hear you.
I've seen it before on these speakers, and what's interesting is a lot of times I'll measure, of course, from the listening position, and the interesting thing, and I think this is why they do it at the listening position, a lot of times that's flat because of the reflections in the room. What do you think about that, though? The fact that they'd take out the dip, or, there'd be a dip there, but the steady state, or whatever you want to call it, the main listening position measurement doesn't have the dip, because that's kind of the area where there's a lot of reflections, and it adds up, and now it looks flat from the listening position. I think that's why they do it.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at the results from that in-wall speaker, and it's a dip from about 2 to about 5, but then it flattens out, so that's going to be a really bright sounding speaker. Yeah, and that's actually what I got in my notes for it. Yeah.
Do you think that's a mistake though? That
Yeah, I
they
think
would
it.
put
Yeah,
put it
I mean,
different?
I don't know if they're doing it on purpose, but they shouldn't. So,
I
that's
mean,
my opinion
the
because
AVR is
it
also
sounds bad. It sounds bad to me, and I think most people probably, if you're coming from the neutral standpoint of things, you would not like that sound.
it's
So,
crazy though, because like even the AVR has the mid-range compensation, right? And for a long time,
Yeah.
you can even undo that. So it's like, oh, your speakers don't do that? Oh, we got you. We'll do it
Yeah,
for you.
I don't get that, man. I just don't get it.
Ah.
So,
Yeah, I think it's a mistake.
yeah, I do too.
So how about this though? What if you have a flat speaker and in room, you're noticing a spike at that range? Like it's just what the room does. So sometimes I take measurements of speakers and I kind of look and see what does the room do? Like how did the room change the sound? And a lot of times it will have a bump in that area, depending on how reflective the room is.
Yeah.
Would you say, yeah, that's okay?
I'm curious how much of that is the seat. Like when these people are measuring,
Mhm.
how are they measuring? Are they measuring sitting in the seat? Are they measuring like holding the mic from behind the seat? You know,
Yeah.
like I just wonder how much of that is an artifact of the measurement, because
Mhm.
I see weird stuff depending on how I measure. If I sit in the seat and wave the mic around, or if I stand behind it with a pole.
Mhm.
So
It'll affect things. What else?
Don Ford said Andrew Robinson reviewed them yesterday and said they were different from the originals in a good way. So something's different about them.
I would hope. I mean, good or bad, I would hope that something's different. You know, like hopefully they wouldn't have just repackaged the same thing and said, "Oh, it's MK2."
Different color cone.
Yeah, that's it. I'm looking at their website. I'm just seeing a bunch of like, okay, cool. Like, I don't know.
There's just a few things, but supposedly I think the crossover changed from what I saw on their website.
All right, we'll make it happen.
All right, hold on a second.
Joe and I will figure this out.
I gotta show you guys something. So my uncle has a old school pair of KG2s, Klipsch.
Yeah, I remember them.
So those
They're
are old
ugly
school.
though. They're
Huh?
ugly.
They're ugly though.
Well, I think he likes it because
Oh,
it matches
man.
the.
They got
matches
white
the look.
woofers, man. I mean, who
No,
wants
this
a white
one doesn't.
Well,
This
so
one
that's
is a
isn't
black.
that what Revel does?
No, this has black
KG2s are
woofers,
white.
man.
Okay,
I want to see these now.
I'm gonna pull them up.
I like this
The back-
Michael.
the
Oh,
back
you-
it-
okay, all right,
Look right here, dude.
all right. Let me see KG2.
Dude, look at it. The back of it. Here, let me share it. I know what they are because I've had the KG 3.2s.
Okay, I
Which
think
are
these are
decent. They're
KG 2.5s.
Okay, that's different.
Ah,
That's not
sorry.
the KG.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So
All right.
pull that one up.
Get your
there.
act together,
There you go.
Joe.
That's
Sorry.
right.
I know you're the clip. You were the Klipsch guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, these are different. These other.
Yeah. See, those
2.5s
Those are
guys white.
hideous.
They look weird, man.
Those look
Can you
dumb.
They really
Can you
do.
pull up the 2.5 real quick?
2.5.
Those look like some JBLs right there. What are you talking about?
Dude,
Yeah.
those look like,
Okay.
I think,
There.
I've
that one.
owned the 2.5s too. I had 3 of them.
those
Okay,
look
so I have
better.
the measurement for this thing.
They're okay.
I did a calibration for him last night.
Mhm.
I told him get the mini DSP, and I'm like, all right, let's do it. So let me share this with you guys because this kind of just shows right away, and this kind of goes into like what I want to talk about is normally I do the AV summit and we do it's a little different, and this time I wanted to be more educational, so that's kind of the focus this time. So maybe this kind of leads into it. So let's see here, window, boom. All right, so this is his yeah.
What is that?
So that's the.
Two ships passing in the night.
Oh yeah, so
Wow.
that's the response of this
Wow.
old school KG2, right? Look at this,
Wow.
crazy, right?
Right there.
Yeah, I'm
1700.
looking at that bump on the bass, man.
Oh yeah, you got
I
this
mean,
one
Yeah,
on.
let's go. That's like my
Wow.
rail.
That
All right,
looks like
so,
Nicki Minaj, man.
Nicki Minaj.
wasn't able to do the right one because the wire wouldn't reach, so it had to be off axis. But I was like, I wanted to see if it's at least similar, right? So that's a real far off axis, let's just say, right? But here's what's interesting, right? So here's the left. Let's see at the main listening position, right, where he sits. You see how kind of like it undoes this dip here. I
Yeah.
don't know if you- So I think that's why that's their thinking. They're like, oh well, it gets fixed the listening position. So
That's
I think that's what
interesting.
I've seen it so many times where this is a here, but not in the main listening position measurement. So the other thing to know is, I wanted to see how the room affected the sound, kind of just like as an average, So this is kind of what the room was doing to the sound.
Huh. So look at that boost around
So it kind of did this
15
little
to
thing over here. And of course you get a bass rise, which you kind of expect in a room.
It's actually a lot more smooth on the bass area, like the mid bass and stuff, than I would have thought. Like it's not jumping all over the place up and down from like 100 to 500 hertz.
I think that's just because it falls off so hard that it can't really read it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
falling off
yeah,
so
yeah.
crazy. It's just
No,
like
I'm talking like above 100 to 5.
Oh.
I mean, normally you see a lot of weird stuff going on there in the room.
It's a big room, a very big room. They have like a loft kind of thing.
I was going to say, did they have an abnormal ceiling?
Huge, like really high ceiling.
Yeah,
Super
okay.
high.
That makes more sense then.
Super high, but very reflective, hardly anything to absorb the sound. So anyway, yeah. I would like to bring up some more stuff, other clip speakers that kind of show the same thing, but I don't want to take up all the time. I could nerd out about this stuff all day.
Nerd status.
Yeah.
Let's talk about those clips that Michael hates, though.
Which ones? The KG2s?
That's Fresh Hater Mike. That's Fresh Hater Mike's voice.
I like this mic. I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah.
Those are ugly.
You almost sound like that Scotty McCreery guy who was on American Idol, the young little teenage country singer kid. That's kind of almost who you sound like when he sings, because he tries to sing real deep.
Yeah.
Anyway.
A few things. So audio only version of this podcast, you can get that at anchor.fm/daily HiFi. I need to mention that. Also, we didn't take any calls today. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But
nobody likes this.
Yeah, we forgot to do that. After show though. Patreon.com/daily HiFi if you want to join our after show. Usually you say that, huh, Chana?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
You just stole his line, man.
Okay.
Why are you creeping in space, man?
Oof. Everybody should have a turn doing all this.
Appreciate it. Mike's about to get you.
Sorry.
See some very awkward, see a very awkward outro. It's like the awkward intros. It's okay. Things happen. Whatever.
I feel weird not taking a call. Does anybody want to call in?
Let's take one call. I got to bounce at 5:30,
right.
so let's take one call.
Do it.
You gotta have somebody to call.
If not, then all good.
Although there was this comment saying like I should just like some dude was like tired of hearing me talk, so maybe I'll just leave.
Oh, that's
tired of hearing you talk.
Yeah.
Today?
No, on one of the videos. Joe came to back me up. He's like, well, he didn't say he was right.
Oh yeah, when you're like, I don't know. I was
like, I don't know.
But I don't know what we were talking about timbre.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know, but I don't know. He said, I don't know a couple times. Like, tired of hearing Chana. He doesn't know anything. He's like, yeah, he just said he doesn't know. I mean, he just said that.
Yeah,
that's pretty
strange. Strange.
Uh-oh. My man BB Photo. Look at this, guys. This is good. I like it.
Start a new voiceover career.
I could do like trailers in a world.
I like it. That's good.
Oh man. Anyway, I was trying to look for another clip speaker that did the same thing. So yeah, no calls. It's all good. I'll jump into the after show.
All of them.
I don't mind.
We've answered all the questions.
There was another super chat though that we didn't answer. That's kind of messed up.
Oh,
this is Power Guy Mark. He's asking the same thing. Yeah, 4:35.
Okay, so
I don't know why thank you, Power Guy Mark.
Thank you.
Bluetooth
2.1. Yeah, same recommendation. Mini DSP Flex and whatever amp you want.
Yeah. Then there's this. Dionysi Live. Currently power my surround channels via the built-in amp from my AVR. 125 watts per channel. However, B&W recommends 150 watts per channel. Will it be beneficial to add a separate amp to attain this? Yeah. I would say go for it. 100%. Hold on. Dude, you got to get yourself an external amplifier, okay? Those B&Ws, They are power hungry. You're going to need to get that. Forget what's going on inside your AVR, and that 125 watts per channel, that's with only 2 channels driven. Okay. So if you're running 5 channels, 9 channels, 7 channels, 12 channels, 15 channels, 155 channels, you're going to need an external amp. Okay.
Is that your sales pitch right there?
I want an external amp, and I don't even need it.
I was just realizing that I was like super low energy, and I was just like, whoa, high energy Chana needs to like show his face. So
hold up. I mean, I was talking a lot about DSP, so it's probably my fault, but apologize. But that was kind of interesting what you did, because like you just straight up sold it, right? It's not like you're like, I'm gonna just sell this.
Yeah, how do you do that?
I want to hear Aaron sell something, because you're so like objective. You're not like
I don't know how. Like I don't.
You're like anti-salesy, right? Like
I know.
If I think of the sales guy, like you're the anti-sales guy. But
like I might be good at
me on stuff,
telling you not to buy something. Like this thing is garbage. Just don't do that.
Yeah,
I'll buy Mika speakers. How about I sell you on mini DSP? You got to get a mini DSP. That's the greatest thing ever. It's cool. It allows you to do X, Y, and Z plus B, Z, and Z, B, B.
No, but you got to actually say the things.
I know.
Oh, the X, Y, and Z.
Like, all right. Let's see. Let's see my notes real fast. Just so everybody knows, right? So like they're like, oh, you're just selling this. This is a real sales pitch. All right, here we go. We saw Chana's right now. That's how he sells. And that's actually not how you really make videos, right?
No.
You're just like, yeah, that's cool. This is what I don't like. You're pretty chill about it.
But that actually made me want to go buy stuff.
So let's hear what's your pitch though? That's your pitch?
Me?
Mini DSP, blah 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 blah.
I don't have one. I can't. I don't know, dude. I can't think. I don't know, man. What?
How about for this guy, for Dionysi?
No, you need a laser level and you need a laser distance finder to make sure you get the perfect triangle and the perfect distance of your speakers. That is the one thing.
Angela.
See, Angela's
wait,
on
it
board.
does XYZ songs. Makes you so.
And if you buy now, I'll throw in a D, E, and F.
See, it's funny because I think Aaron, you would be able to sell me something because of how you're so like you just don't care. I'm like, this guy doesn't believe I can buy this. This guy just doesn't care. And I'm gonna just have to show him. I'm just gonna have you know what? I was gonna buy that one model, but give me the higher up one.
He's just offended now. He's like, what? My money not
like,
green enough for
I'm
you?
Be like, I know you can't afford this, so let's go over here and look at this section.
See, it would work on me. His non-sales pitch would work.
Oh, you want the EX with the leather? Well, unfortunately, that's a little bit more pricey than I think you're going to be able to afford without
you have to go down
an
to
additional line of credit.
RS,
so we've got the LX over here if you want to take a look at that, and we've got used in the back. Yeah.
Let me get somebody else to help you. If you want, I'm about to take my lunch break.
Yeah.
Yeah. Michael,
exactly.
let's how does Michael sell? Let me hear a sales pitch.
Like what?
Let's bring it back to the other guy though. Where's the question? The same one as the same one you brought up, Chana.
Gosh.
This pen.
All right. There we go. Something. See, currently my power my surround channels via the built-in amp for my AVR at 125 watts per channel. However, B&W recommends 150 watts per channel. Yeah. Will it be beneficial if I add separate amp to attain this?
Yeah, definitely be beneficial to you. But how beneficial is kind of subjective. There's a lot of times I've added amplifiers to speakers, didn't hear a whole lot of difference, but most of the time I've had very efficient speakers. B&W typically are inefficient. Therefore, they do typically like a lot more power. B&W a lot of times tell you, to really make these speakers come alive, you need to really feed them some power. And that's probably due to the lower sensitivity. So will you benefit from it? Absolutely. How much? I don't know.
Yeah. I think Michael, get him on the warranty though.
Yeah.
Whichever amp you get though.
Whichever one you get. I mean, you have an extended
Make
warranty.
sure you get the Circuit City extended warranty.
I tried to do that when I bought my car. They were like, do you want to get this? It was a Honda. And they were like, do you want to get the extension, like the 5-year, or take it from 3 to 5 years? And then the guy was like rattling off all these reasons. He's like, well, with the new turbos and the new electronic systems. And I was straight up, I was like, do you guys not like trust what you sell? And he's like, oh, no, that's not it. And I said, well, that's kind of how it's coming off. I was like, dang, dude.
So is
your stuff garbage?
Pay more.
Yeah.
So Dionysi, so you have Bowers and Wilkins, right? You must be a baller, right? Because not everybody has Bowers and Wilkins. So, you're asking about, should you not spend money on the app and you kind of want to cheap out? bro. I mean, you're a baller. Just go all out. What are you holding back for right now? You know,
Treat yourself.
That's your sales pitch.
you spent all this money, and you want to save money in the last. Come on,
You
man.
can afford it,
Come
so
on,
just
bro.
buy it. Is
Hey,
that what you're saying?
If you
Wow.
came in here and you had some, some budget speakers, and I'd be like, yeah, maybe we'll look at something else. I'd treat you the way maybe Aaron just said he's gonna treat me,
He
right?
says I wish.
But you're a baller, so dude, you're wasting time even listening to us right now. You should have
Should've
bought
already
it,
bought the
hired
amp.
the guy
You
to
should have bought it
install
last year.
You should have had it already.
Listen, man,
sales
when
pitch.
you buy the amp, it'll add more airiness and more detail. All the things that you don't like about your system right now, that amp will fix it.
Don't forget the chocolatey bottom.
And
I'll have an
if you vote
affiliate
for me,
link
all your
below.
dreams will come true.
No, not a Macintosh. Like you don't need to go that crazy. Look,
What?
in all seriousness, though,
Is he seriously talking about Macintosh?
no, he said Mac down here. They had more chocolate. Yeah. So where's this question? There it is. I'm trying to pop it. Okay, so a few things I'm seeing here, and what Mike says was 100% true. B&W speakers, very low sensitivity, usually harder to power. Your amplifier from your AV receiver is putting out 125 watts per channel, only with 2 channels driven. So if you want to power your surround channels, because that's what it says right here. So if you're having a minimum of 5, that 125 watts is, who knows what that's going to be for all 5 channels, right? So, I mean, I have a 5.1.4, right? So I power all ear level speakers with the same amplifier. So I have a 5-channel amplifier that powers all of them. Now, as far as your power rating on your speakers, I would throw the kitchen sink at that thing, right? Like 150 watts, let's go 250, 250, 200.
A lot of times I recommend doing twice what they recommend.
Yeah, if you can.
You know,
If you
nothing
can
wrong
afford
with
it.
that. Yeah.
Because bottom line, it's about having more headroom for those dynamic shifts in your content, from very quiet, very loud. I always use Seabiscuit, old movie, got it on Blu-ray, but there's this race where like they're right on the racetrack and horses thundering down the racetrack, and then it boom flips over to like dude in a hospital bed listening to the race on the radio. And then he's like, oh, and it's like completely silent except for like what you hear on the radio. And then all of a sudden, boom, we're back. Horses thundering around. So when you have those shifts and you're going like that, back and forth like that in certain movies, having that external power amp is going to give your speakers that extra headroom and juice for those dynamic shifts in the content. So I would highly recommend it. I've been doing it for years, and especially with speakers like B&W that are hard to power.
Yeah.
You should go buy an amp.
You got,
but you don't have to buy a Macintosh. Like, no,
you could buy me a Macintosh.
I mean,
well, last time he didn't buy the extended warranty on the B&Ws. So, I mean, I offered last time. He said you didn't need it. So what I would recommend right now, it says that you need 150 watts. Maybe go for something like 1,000 watts per channel. Run some test tones, just see what it can do. I would recommend getting extended warranty this time in case something were to happen, but
because you're likely going to blow a tweeter.
It's on you.
That's probably true.
Man.
He goes on to say, my front soundstage is being powered by a separate amp using the pre-outs for my AVR. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
What is this that you have on here, Michael? So
I was just going
around
to,
here.
yeah. I was just saying, so say for instance, if you had the 703 S2s, don't know what model you have, but looking at their specs, they're rated at 89 dB sensitivity. And so to get 3 more decibels louder, you'd have to double your amplifier power.
Yeah.
So 89 is, to me, I mean, if it's not above 90, 93, 94, 95, I don't classify it as like a sensitive speaker.
Right.
That's easy to drive.
Right.
So I mean, the good thing is you said that you've already got an amplifier powering your LCR, which is great. In that case, if you're just powering the remaining speakers, let us know how many speakers you got. I mean, if you've only got a 5.1.2, no, you don't need an amplifier for the rest of them. Your amplifier should be more than sufficient to do that.
All right, here we go.
He's got some more information.
I got my chart from my video.
There you go.
From my video. No, here. Okay. What do we got here? So if it's 86, look at the difference.
Yeah.
Like if you were trying to get let's say just 95 dB, right? 8 watts.
Yeah.
You would need with this 86 dB, but like over here, 95 watts, you only need 2, or 95 dB, you need 2 watts.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, right. If you were trying to get like, what is 100 dB is the, what is it called? The reference peak for THX, right?
104.
104. Yeah. So 16 watts. So my 16 watts on this speaker, I'll get 104 dB. My 16 watts on this speaker, I'll get 100. And my 16 watts over here on this 86 dB sensitive speaker would be 98. So, and that's just at 1 foot away, or sorry, 1 meter away. When you start going back 2 meters, 3 meters, that drops drastically.
Sure.
Are you guys hearing that call?
Oh, there's a caller.
Well, what that is?
Let's see. Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's
What's
up?
Hey, what's happening?
I thought I'd just call because nobody was calling.
Oh, thank you.
I thought you wanted just to hear my voice in person.
Who's it?
I was gonna ask who's this late night AM DJ you guys got on there?
That's it, man. That's
No, but I feel calm when he's talking.
Michael's about ready to drop some slow jams tonight.
I think so.
About right.
Who's this?
My name is Billy. I called you guys last week, I think.
Okay. What did you call about last time? Just to refresh our memory.
I was asking about Chano's his separates that he got. And
Oh yeah.
You're a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't really, I was
Billy.
kind of wondering. You guys were talking about this BBC dip or whatever on these clip speakers, and I have the THX Ultra 2s from I don't know, they're what are they, 20 years old now?
Yeah, they're pretty.
And I was wondering if those have them or not, or is that different because they had to adhere to a THX spec, or is that, is that something that like THX requires? You guys know anything about that? I know they're super secretive about that kind of stuff.
No, THX is, from what I understand, they make people sign NDAs, and their requirements aren't very steadfast. I think they it varies a little bit, not even within like a specific category. From what I've been told by manufacturers, they may submit a product for the same rating, but because they're different products, then they can I'm butchering this. Basically, like let's assume a floor standard versus a bookshelf, right? So that to get THX Ultra, they may have different requirements for both types of speaker. That's what I've been told. I don't know how up to date that information is, but unfortunately, nobody else knows either because they don't allow anybody to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and Michael went and talked to the, arguably the guys who are pushing THX right now, and I'm sure they won't tell you anything.
Well, go ahead.
I spoke with Lori Fincham. I mean, he was VP at R&D for THX for years. And that was kind of the impression that I got from him, is that they don't make that information publicly known. Now, I didn't outright ask him. And I guess that's something I could ask him if I was curious about, but he also may not be at liberty to say either.
Yeah.
So.
No, I don't think anyone is, but I'm just kind of curious. I know like regular clip speakers have that, but I didn't know if mine did or not. I wish I could send them to you, Aaron, because I've never seen anyone measure them.
I mean, you could just have Joe come in and measure them remotely. You can have Joe, if you have a UMic 1 and an REW, you can.
Yeah, you can measure them too.
You can measure them
Just to get an idea if it has that dip, right? So, you don't have to be like extremely accurate to see if there's a dip or not, right? It's gotta.
I have measured them.
Okay.
But, I mean, they measure relatively flat.
Okay.
With my UMic that I've used.
All right.
But,
Yeah, the THX Ultra 2s were, to me, they're kind of a more laid back sound. So I don't think they have the typical clips, rise and the treble. And
I remember what people was who was it? Corey was saying that it's more of like a theater like
It is.
specific or like a theater speaker. So
Right.
so it's
Yeah.
not going to have a whole lot of character to it. Character. It's not going to add a whole lot of stuff.
Well,
Like they're
Well, I don't really know. It's bad. It's a bad reference for me because I've been listening to these speakers for literally most of my life. They used to belong to my dad.
Yeah.
He's still alive. He just gave them to me.
Awesome, man.
yeah.
But
Oh, so your dad
I've
doesn't
been
like you?
listening-
Okay.
Wow.
What's that?
I said, so your dad doesn't like you? That's why he gave you those speakers?
No.
oh,
It was a
my dad
joke.
he's so mean, isn't he? Mean.
It was a
Yes.
joke. I don't know anything about the speakers. I don't even know what they look like. It was just a joke.
Well, I've had the speakers down in the bottom to show you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
wanna see
there we go.
I-
These here.
no,
Oh,
my
okay, yeah.
dad likes me a lot.
I always looked at that thing and be like, oh, one day
So-
I'll have a $13,000 system.
But it's funny because I was anyway. So I haven't really listened to any other speakers, so I really have no reference. You know, I just listen to
Yeah.
these speakers and I'll listen to like a sound bar or whatever, and I'm like, oh, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
I don't really have like a frame of.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not like you guys. I don't have a bunch of bookshelves coming in and out of my console.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Well, as far as your question about the THX thing, though, I think there's certain things
Yeah.
that you can kind of, I don't know, deduce, I guess, from their certification, like the fact that they have different room size certifications, right? So for this
Right.
size room,
And
they said, and from this distance, it's approved, right? For this
Yeah.
distance. So to me, that's saying, okay, they're looking at the SPL, right?
right.
They're looking at, of course, it can't be playing those at that volume with all kinds of distortion.
Right.
Yeah.
Distortion.
And you can tell because let's say Monolith has a THX, or they have multiple THX subwoofers, where
Right.
the two modes are THX and then extended, right? And extended mode typically lets the bass go out further, right? So to me,
Right.
that's saying THX probably said, okay, when you extend the bass out further, that doesn't pass our, it's a little too much distortion. Even though
Well,
maybe
they
somebody
don't-
else would be okay with it, but they're not. So, I'm kind of
I
like
don't
putting
think-
the pieces together.
They seem to be kind of anti-infrasonic sound and stuff like that. I don't know. It seems like to be something they don't care about.
And
They seem to see it as wasted power.
yeah, and the other thing is you were asking if THX certification has anything to do with the frequency response.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that if that were the case, then almost everything that's THX certified would measure pretty flat, or at least similar. And I don't know if that's the case.
Are those monoprice THX speakers? Are those flat?
Aaron, have you
Aaron,
measured those?
measured some, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monoprice?
The mini monitor, honestly, I just don't
Yeah.
remember if it was or not. To be honest with you, I really don't remember. And that was just not too long
Oh,
ago.
no.
And you've been knocking out so many reviews. But Aaron, if you go to aaronsaudiocorner.com,
Yeah.
all the measurements are there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to say it's probably okay, but again, I just don't remember. And
Yeah.
I'm getting them confused because I did the encores, I think, right after that. So there's a lot of overlap for me in my brain. So.
I don't
Well,
know which ones are the encores. Are those the one with the wave guys?
Yeah.
The new one they just came out with?
Right. Yeah. So I'm looking at the mini monitors aren't bad. So they do have a bit of a boost to treble. They got a weird dip at around like 6K or so. Not sure what's going on with that, but for the most part, they seem pretty linear. I'd say they're within like plus or minus 2 dB.
But is
Yeah.
that a monolith thing though? Because almost like all the monolith stuff seems to have kind of like a pattern, right? I've noticed like all of them kind of
yeah.
measure pretty decent.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a
don't know.
THX or a monolith thing. That's the question.
Right.
I mean, for me, what makes a THX speaker is generally it's not going to make much noise below 80 hertz, and
Right.
really
Yeah.
really loud. It's going to get really
Yeah.
loud.
I think you got
With
that
not
one.
a lot of power. So,
Yeah, I mean the Miller and Kreisel THX that I had in house, man, those were like the frequency response. The low end was like 75 hertz, and then then they're like 4 ohm and they're like 400 watts. They're like, yeah, give us like as much power as possible. Crazy.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's it though.
Exactly.
I think you're starting to figure it out there because they don't want their speakers to distort. So they'd rather you not like have crazy bass coming out through them.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
They expect you to
But-
cross
and
it
I
over
kinda
with a sub, and then the sub should be able to
believe
handle
in-
all that.
I kind of believe in the Jane Delasala school of thought of, you let your subwoofers produce the bass. I don't really see a need for, if you have a bunch of subwoofers, why do you need towers that go down at 30 hertz or whatever?
I mean,
Doesn't make sense to me.
Chana's doing that in his living room right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't scrap the Martin Logans. They're just in a different room. But for the
Oh,
most
yeah,
part, I'm
or
like,
are
let's
they,
get rid
like,
of these
in your
towers.
bedroom?
Yeah, no. I mean, no, they're just
Yeah.
they need to go back to Martin Logan. But like, I was just like, oh
Oh.
my gosh.
I didn't know you didn't own them.
Oh yeah, no, they've just been here for like a year and a half or something. But when Joe did his his Magic Bean settings, he got the subwoofer working so well with the towers. I was just like, oh, I don't need towers.
You still have that Rel Predator or whatever? Is that what it was?
Yes, yeah, I have 2 of those, yeah.
And you got them stacked on top of each other, right?
Yeah, and so they're just daisy chain, nothing like fancy. But the what do you call it? He got those things flat to like what was it, way below 20.
Yeah.
So
I mean, let's just say safe down to 16.
yeah, safe down to
safe
16.
easy.
And I have to go somewhere, and so like I know that the teenager is going to be in the living room, so I went ahead and took that subwoofer level down like halfway.
That's funny.
Oh yeah,
Good idea.
just in case he gets crazy with the volume button.
Well, that's the kind of issue I have is I got my mini DSP running hot for movies, and then when I put a song on, I'm like, oh shit, the whole house is gonna fall over.
Yeah, it'll happen.
I know that problem.
Yeah.
Here's
But I don't want to go into the mini DSP and change that stuff, so I just deal with it. I just don't turn it up as loud.
here's real quick. Here's another Klipsch speaker that I measured for a client in room. So this is it before I touched anything. So we measured near the speaker, which is in red. Right.
Mhm.
I could find exactly which one it was, but I'm like, whoa, what the heck? What is that?
What is that? That's
Yeah,
like
really.
1K.
What is
Like
this?
starts falling off around
This is
1500.
real close, right? Real close to the speaker. And then here's another measurement. So this is an average of the left and right, right? Because it was so weird. I'm like, no, we got to do the right. I want to see if this is the right one's actually doing that too. So and then I did one at the listening position, and that's the measurement that you get.
That's
so like
so that's what the
here's
room
kinda like
did to it.
gets undone.
Yeah.
So weird.
What speaker is that?
I'd have to look it up in my text, but it's a Klipsch. I don't know if it's a floor standard or a bookshelf.
Yeah.
I
So
have
like
to
that
look.
look like that dip
I
moved
always had
over.
that joke about old men loving Klipsch speakers because they can't hear the highs as well anymore, and so they're basically
So they want that horn shouting at him. Hey,
yeah.
Let's.
Yeah, exactly.
maybe.
I can tell you. Hold on.
But yeah, that's interesting. The room made that dip
Is
move
that
over a
rise?
few
Is
hundred.
that rise at what is that? 70 hertz? Is that just in-room response? Or is that
Rise at 70 hertz. This.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
this is
that's
at.
in room, man.
So this is at the listening position, right? So yeah,
Right.
this is caused by the room.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not
Yeah,
like
but-
it wasn't there though. This is already rising in the
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
nearby, or near field, I guess you could call it. But it's
And those-
definitely up higher.
And those dips those are just the nulls, right?
Yeah. Talking about these,
Yeah.
some kind of cancellation going on.
Right. Yeah, I have a huge problem with nulls in my room, but my room is square and it's small,
Oh, okay.
so I try and overcompensate by turning up the subwoofer a lot, but I don't know how great that is for it.
Yeah.
So,
Weird. Anyway, let me get that off the scope.
anyways, well, guys, talk to
Yeah.
you next week.
All right. Hey, thanks for
Yeah,
calling.
hey,
I guess we got to
thanks for
wrap
calling
up
in,
at
man.
an hour and a half.
At least we got at least
Yeah.
we got one.
Take care,
call.
man.
Take it easy.
Take care.
See you, man.
Later.
Bye.
Bye bye.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that should do it for the Daily Hi-Fi podcast. We do this every Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or if you're on the East Coast, that's 7 p.m. Right, Aaron? I see him trying to do some math.
Well, you threw me because I was like 7, and I was like, oh, you said East, so I'm Central, so that's why.
Oh, you're Central.
Yeah, I'm
Oh, you're-
Central.
How many
I'm
states
Eastern.
over are you?
I'm only 2 from you, man.
Two from Michael.
So
He's in Alabama.
no, I'm 1 from Michael. I'm 2 from
Yeah.
California.
2 states.
I'm Central.
I don't
2
know.
states, or you're talking 2?
I said 2
sections.
states. I'm like, how many?
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
like 2 states.
I was like,
You're
I
like
was
2
talking about
states
time
over from
zones.
Michael.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I thought you were talking time zone. Sorry.
Anyway,
I'm not paying attention.
We talk all things audio video here on the Daily Hi-Fi podcast. If you're new to the podcast, make sure you subscribe up to the YouTube channel. And if you don't like to watch videos and you want to hear the audio only, there is an audio version on anchor.fm/daily hi-fi. And of course, we will be jumping into the after show that we do with our patrons. So if you want to sign up for that and get into that secret society, whatever, go to patreon.com/daily hi-fi, and we'll see you there. On behalf of myself, Joe, Michael, and Aaron, we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Hola.
Later.
Hola.